We're shedding our masks and breaking down walls. Hell, we may even drop our drawers. That's right. We're Going Commando with Angela and Dana. Hi, I'm Dana Sardano, and this is Angela DiMarco, and we are Going Commando. Going Commando is a little show that Angela and I put together because we just see the importance of just speaking our minds and really treating authenticity like a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a real thing. And just whatever, just saying what we think and that's it. And I don't have words. Angela, fix this.
Get this train on the rails, girl. Yeah, we started Going Commando because a while ago, because Dana and I would be apart for the weekends and I can't quit you. And we would have these conversations on Monday morning and we figured, you know what, let's record them for prosperity, for the sake of humanity.
For the sake of humanity.
Well, we discuss topics that are around personal betterment. Really, It's not just empowerment. It's just how do we live happy, fulfilling lives? We're two women who are entrepreneurs. We have kids. We've got husbands. We've got, the bumps and bruises from the trauma of life.
Yes.
And, and we're both really happy. And we just want to help people be happy, you know?
Well said. Well said. Thank you. Thank you for picking me up off the tracks. Appreciate that.
I got you, boo. I
appreciate that. So this season we are closing out season 3, and the bulk of the season, the first several episodes were based on 10 Recommandments for Personal Empowerment, a book that I had written, and everything. It's called personal empowerment, but again, like Angela said, everything is about well-being, and just about being content and happy in your life, and just talked about, we shared anecdotes and silliness, and with regard to that subject matter. So the last 3 episodes of this season are they're each a third. So what are we, 37 and 2/3? This is episode 37 and 2/3. Yeah, because 37 and 1/3 was the letter. Dun, dun, dun. And today we want to talk about the importance. We want to talk about, again, well-being, but just a little bit of a different way. Angela and I, we have created a Core-to-Credo program to assist businesses in just being well, happy, and whole from the outside in and the inside out. But Angela and I, we embody this philosophy, and we just wanted to talk a little bit about it today. Angela, what you got to say about Core-to-Credo?
So it's truly about when Dana and I had. So if you watch the last episode, you know that we had. Sorry, I have my poop shake in my teeth. Sorry, guys, we're good. Okay.
So sexy.
I am so hot. Okay, so Dana and I talked about the letter. The letter was a giant pivot for us, but it helped us truly become aware of our own personal needs. Dana is truly my ride or die in the business world. Like, I don't want to do this without her. And how we're successful co-founders together because we had these experiences together. And Core-to-Credo truly is, what we went through. Really, like that was the experience that we went through, and it is the experience that we embody. And the reason why we've shifted to try to help businesses do what we do between the two of us is because, you hear a lot of like, oh, the company needs a boost. Let's bring in a speaker and everyone's motivated for 5 minutes. And then they go about their day and the problems aren't fixed.
Yeah.
And when Dana and I had our letter moment, our letter pivot, whatever we want to call it, please watch the episode because it's really good because it totally proved me right in the whole thing.
Oh my God. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm reading this letter and I'm reading it and it's saying all these things like, and just know I've always got your back. And meanwhile, she's like, oh yes, that's scathing. I'm like, okay.
No. Okay, maybe we still have some things to heal. But anyway, that aside, it goes so much more beyond for us. It went so much more beyond having like a bonding experience, having a retreat. Those things are so great. Going away together. We've done that. We had Sebastian that weekend in Florida, and it was awesome. Yeah. Like we bonded then, and we thought, holy shit, this is it. But it wasn't enough. So really getting to the core, getting to the heart of the matter of who you are, what you need, what you want, what are your values, and how does the person that you're working with align with all that stuff? And yeah, man, I honestly, like I call you my ride or die, because I don't want to do this business without anybody, you know? And I believe that people that we work with feel the same thing. We give to each other what we give to everybody that we work with on the team. Yeah. And that is the culture that we're fostering, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. On a personal level, you know, anybody who has seen, heard anything that I've done, everything is about the core for me. And I've always been grounded. Yeah. I've been train wrecky. I've had my shit, but I've always been very grounded, and I've always understood you have to have integrity. You have to speak your truth. You have to have confidence. You have to be grounded. You have to be creative. Like all of these things you have to have in order to then properly present to the world, you know, go out to the world and align with people who are like you to have successful and happy relationships. That's not been a thing for me, but yet I've had all this, but there's this level of personal branding, this level of being, I always say, you know, being pretty, but really being refined and able to present those things, regardless of what you do. Everybody's different. You could be an artist, you could be a writer, you could work for a company, whatever it is. It's not enough just to know the things. You have to embody the things, and then you have to properly present the things, because we are interacting with others. So as much as the core is important for the person and then to bring to relationships, without the alignment with the credo, then you're really kind of only halfway there. Wouldn't you agree with that, Angela?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's how many times have I taken something that you've put together and I'm like, let me just spit chime that for you a little bit. It really, nobody, I don't know if people understand or value the importance of your insides matching your outsides, your carpet matching your drapes, all that stuff. You know, like I had a friend's website, brilliant guy. And his website was done by a friend and it was put together. I'm like, this doesn't match. We have to fix this because it doesn't reflect who you are. And, you know, there are so many tools out there that people can use now. So you don't have to rely on like a designer to do your stuff. But it is really, really important that things match, because when things don't match, like when you're talking about how like your book, right? The first version of 10 Recommandments was with a publisher. Okay. You are an editor-in-chief.
Not in a good place about that.
You are, I know. But listen, you're an editor-in-chief of a publishing company. You are a writer. You were an English teacher. You did all of these things, right? And that book was full of errors because of relying on somebody else to do it right. That was not a true reflection of your brand.
No.
And we don't stand for that anymore. We don't do that anymore, Joe.
We don't do that anymore, Joe. We don't do that anymore. And as the person who's presenting this to the world and so proud of the body of work, every time I see a first edition in circulation, I'm just going to be completely honest. I just bought a buttload of the first editions off of Amazon. So when customers go and buy the book, they don't have to have the first edition, because the second edition doesn't pop up until the first edition goes away completely. That's how strongly I feel that my curtains have to match my drapes, my carpet, whatever. That's got to match.
Curtains and drapes are pretty much the same thing. Yeah, I guess so. Big on that. No, but that's like a small example, right? Yeah. That's a small example, because it's also, it's like, it's not just the visual of it. It is truly embodying,
yes,
you know, walking your walk, because authenticity is the new currency these days. People can smell bullshit from a mile away.
Yep.
People are sick of the bullshit. They're
Sick
sick
of
of
it.
the lies, sick of it. So, if you're a customer, if you're a client, if you're an employee, everyone can smell the bullshit. So if your core values are, we are a hardworking place that just gets shit done and we don't care about anything else, fucking embody it. That's it. We're not asking you to change who you are, but know who you are, walk the walk, and be truly you so that you align with the people that align with you. And then you have a happy working environment, you have happy relationships, you have productivity, you have all those wonderful things that come along with it. But I think a lot of people get confused or not sure, like, why brand and culture what they have to do. They're synonymous.
Yeah.
So the brand and the culture and the core, everybody individually feeling seen, heard, empowered to ask for what they need. Maybe they're not getting, maybe the hybrid worker wants to stay hybrid, but the company can't let go of the attachment of what it was like to have everybody in the office space, or they have this big space that no one's using anymore. Yeah. So, what there's a miscommunication and misalignment there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And there's, just to go bring it to a deeper level, there's a sense of security that people want to feel within their relationships. There's an expression, I think it's like a spiritual expression, like as above, so below. Well, as in the microcosm, as in the macrocosm, right? So if I'm in a relationship, we'll just use my husband as an example, and I don't feel that I could express my needs. I don't feel that I am appreciated. I don't feel that I'm getting what I want out of the relationship. Any of those things, that relationship is going to struggle. And we could put Band-Aids on it. We were talking last week when we were talking about our letter, we could do the once a week dinner and he could bring me flowers. But if those very important core needs aren't met, the relationship is always going to be in some level on the ropes. Again, Tony Robbins can come in and speak to us. You know what I mean? Yeah. We can have a team building day. You know what I mean? Like, we can do whatever we're going to do. But at the end of the day, if those core values aren't met, well, as in the microcosm is in the macrocosm, our relationships at work are no different. Our relationships with our immediate coworkers, with our team leader. Again, I was in education, so I don't know what any of these things are. With our, with our,
you had
That's what I'm saying. I'm using those terms.
Yeah,
our department head, our guy in charge of curriculum, the head of school, whatever it is. I know that in the school that I was in for 16 years, where I ended my career in education as I knew it, the most uncomfortable thing for me was everybody was trying to protect everybody else's feelings. So everything was being done. Like, if a teacher was not good in that class, they would do things like promote that teacher or give them a better job because they don't want to tell them they sucked at it. So the problem was never solved. I mentioned in a live that we did, there was another teacher who was really, like I said, a C+ at best. And she got teacher of the year because there was a stipend that came along with it and they knew she needed the money. Like, nothing was, so then there was other teachers, yours truly and others, that were put off by this. So everybody's walking on eggshells and everybody is lying or doing things the back way in order not to offend or hurt or to avoid confrontation. And you couldn't trust anybody. So somebody would come in, my principal would be like, "Oh, Dana, you're so great and wonderful." And I can't trust that. If you don't have the basic foundation of trust and feelings of safety and security with the people that you work with, you've got nothing. You've got nothing.
Seriously. That is the trust for the employees. From that perspective, right? To see what leadership is doing and saying, and if they're like, do as I say, not as I do situation, you know what I mean? Like, that's where everybody feels a little like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
What really for us, the magic secret sauce, right? Magic secret sauce was having the willingness to work on this. Yeah. Having the willingness, right? Yeah. And I think you said it last week. It's like or I forget which, we were talking about 10 recs maybe. It's like, you have the willingness to make things better. You have the willingness to be like, okay, this could be better. I want to do whatever I can to make my company thrive, to make my people happy, to make us more productive, make us more money, whatever. I have the willingness to do what it takes. And then you just need the awareness. And when the awareness comes in, it's like, okay, well, here's a little crack in the foundation. Okay, I have the willingness to do whatever it's going to take now that I know that that's the problem. And it's not putting the finger in the dam. It's like maybe tearing the whole dam down and then rebuilding it from scratch.
And that might be what it takes. And there's a double awareness there, because there's the awareness that you may not even know what the problem is. Right. So you have the willingness, and then you're brought the awareness. We have this assessee that we use. Oh, right. I didn't realize that this was the problem. And then the second level of awareness is, okay, now what do I do? And again, and that's where we come in. So there's so many components to it, but I got to tell you, you couldn't have said it any better. You got to be willing. And when you're willing and you have the, oh my God, this is hard. But yeah, once you have the willing, that again, and everybody wants their relationships to thrive. And I always water it down with the general term of relationships, because again, it's from the relationship with your friends, your spouse, your children. If you know how to have a healthy relationship, you can apply it to all aspects of your life. So back to the core, if I am grounded, right, and I am, again, I am redundant, but well, happy, and whole in all these aspects of my life, and I feel really, really good, and I have a strong foundation, and I go and apply for a job, I am going to smell train wreck a mile away. And I don't feel desperate to take that job, because if I really, truly am grounded in my foundation, I know that there will be another one that aligns with my needs. I'm not 21, 25-year-old Dana that's like, oh my God, I just need a job to survive, because I don't live in survival mode anymore, because I'm aligned. So it starts here, and then you bring it out there, and then you align with those who are also in alignment with their values.
Yeah. I just have to do a quick shout out to my previous boss, Brian Torciello. I worked at VisionTron. It was a manufacturing company. I was director of marketing. That was before I left to do all this fun stuff that we're doing. And Brian called me a pain in the ass. So I was somebody who got her needs met. You know what I mean? In this company that was very rigid, like in their ways. Like they just had their ways of doing things. And then here I come in and I'm like, I need special hours. I need this. I'm now pregnant. I'm on bed rest. Like, you just have to work around me. Like, and he always just called me a pain in the ass, but they always accommodated, because they knew the value of what I brought to the table. And I was a really good worker for them, but because they met those needs, I didn't leave 2 years prior. Otherwise I would have been like banging my head against the wall, That Brian understood they're very family centric, and that was one of their core values. And he knew that, like, I needed to be home with the baby, or I needed to take care of myself. When I lost Josh, God, they were amazing. They were amazing. They both, the president had the same experience and reached out to me and was like, just, take the time you need. Like, they were so good to me because they embodied that value of family matters, and that was really important. But there were a lot of people that I worked with that were like, oh God, I wish I could make like $2 more an hour. I'm like, go ask. You've been here for 16 years. Why aren't you making more money? You know what I mean? But they didn't feel that I just happen to be somebody who's like, look at me, world.
Yeah. You made the point that if they weren't able to accommodate your needs, you might have left 2 years earlier. And it's funny, just a little spin on that point. I think about the fact, again, I was in my last place of employment for 16 years, and the last 4 started to get uncomfortable, and the last one was excruciating before I left. But that was truly a testament to who I was. I was in that environment because there was something about me and my belief system that I had to fight for everything to get my needs met. It wasn't an asking. It wasn't a presenting. It was I'm going to fight. I'm going to champion the cause of the children. I'm going to champion the cause of the teachers. I'm going to champion the cause. I'm going to champion the cause. I'm going to champion the cause. And when I began to evolve as a human being and understood that that wasn't a pattern that I had to embody anymore, it got more uncomfortable. And I'm only bringing this up because there's, we talk about Core-to-Credo and assisting these companies, assisting these organizations. And it's not just about making everything right, making sure that the people are empowered and making sure that they're in alignment with the culture of the organization. It's also assisting people in understanding that they really just may not be right for that. Think about couples who get together when they're 20, and then when they're 30 or 40, they split up because they realize that they're no longer in alignment. That's okay too. That's okay too. It's more important that you change and evolve as the individual and then figure out what organization you fit in. And it's not the organization's responsibility to accommodate every individual. It's the organization's responsibility to know who they are and to work with and accommodate the individuals that are in alignment with them. But if it's not working, adults should understand, hey, I will help you find something somewhere else. I am happy to give you a recommendation. I'm happy to support you if you want to go and further your education. But if there's not an alignment here, let's go back to the integrity of it all. Let's be honest with ourselves and with each other.
Yes. And this was what our good pal Anya was talking about.
Yeah.
With don't just hire based on the skills that you need.
Yep.
Hire based on the values and being in line with each other. And, sometimes weeding out those employees, like for their sake and for yours. Yes. You don't want somebody who's just punching a clock. You want someone who's going to help you make money and be more productive and create a good working environment for everybody.
Yes. People throw the words. There's so many words that people are throwing around now that irk me. That'll be decoding the woo-woo part 2. But the one is toxic. Oh, toxic environment, toxic and toxic. All toxic is when people are unhappy, they create toxicity. Mm-hmm. So, I think about when people have cancer, you cut the cancer out and then you do the treatments, but you leave one cell, you still have cancer. It still grows. Yeah. It still infects isn't the right word, but the rest of, the tissues, the cells. And it's that same idea. If you have one person who is unhappy and punching a clock and you feel an obligation because they've been here 30 years, you're not doing anybody any good. You don't owe anybody anything. If anything, you owe, and I'm talking about the people who are running the company now, running the organization, you owe yourself what you set out to do. And you set out to run a healthy, thriving company. Well, what are you going to do to get there? And if it means dumping 20-year Sally because she's creating toxicity.
How'd you know her name was Sally?
It's my mother's name.
You're fired.
That was totally unintentional, but it happens to be my mother's name. But you catch my drift. I'll just leave it there.
Someone asked me once, R.I.P. Sal. Someone asked me a while ago, what happens when you have that one toxic employee who is they bring in the money, they're amazing at sales and they're really good to the bottom line, but their department is miserable because they're not happy. And he said, how would you approach that? And I've said, well, it's a twofold approach, right? One, you deal with the people that are reporting to this person. You teach them not to be affected by this person's energy, what they're putting out. You teach them to put up their guard, and not take it personally because it's not about them. Mm-hmm. You teach them these things. This is like our long-term solution, right? Yeah. And then if that employee is truly willing to do what it takes to keep the job, chances are they're toxic because they've got some stuff going on.
They don't know. They also don't know they're toxic. You know what I mean? And sometimes you're just a dick and you don't know it. And I know with Rob, I'm like, you're being a dick. And he's like, oh, I am? Yeah, sometimes
it's so true.
Bringing the awareness.
It's so true. So it's like you work with that individual and then you work with the individuals around them. And then maybe there's a meeting in the middle. But in any event, I remember, so I dated this guy who was hot and cold. I didn't know which one was walking through the door. I don't know if he's going to be a good mood. I don't know if he's going to be, and he was he had his issues, and I had mine. But I was working with a therapist, and I was like, how do I do this? Like, how do I, even get from point A to point B in this relationship where I'm walking on eggshells because I don't know which person is coming through the door. And he said, before I walk into the house, do a check and say, how do I feel at this moment? Okay, I'm actually feeling pretty content. I just had a good AA meeting. I'm feeling really great right now. So then hold on to that. And then no matter what person is presented on the other side of the door, it won't affect me because I know where I'm at. I know it has nothing to do with me. So if we can teach people to do that within the organization,
pick me.
Yeah, like I'm feeling like I'm walking into work today and I'm really stressed because my bills are due and I don't have the check yet. So it's stressing me out and it's going to affect everything that I do today. That's where I'm at. But I'm not going to project that onto everybody else because it's not their problem. They're my bills. And we have to teach people not to project their shit. That's why this whole thing is so important.
Oh,
and
my
that's
God.
Why I love
and
this.
It's simple, but it's not. Like when you bring it to people's attention, it's like, oh my God. But like, just to give you a concrete example, like Rob and I have been together about 10 years. And early on, like I said, he had a maturity level of coping mechanisms of like a 9-year-old. And so something would bother him and he would like think it's okay to take it out on everybody else. And it's my responsibility not to be bothered by it. I'm like, you're getting your shit on me. What's your problem? I'm like, Rob, what you don't seem to understand is when I get a little bit edgy or a little bit off, the first thing I do is I go to my calendar and see when I'm getting my period. And then when I realize that's what it is, I put myself in check. Because my menses is not your problem. And we have learned, I think, and I'm getting a little bit out there, but as a society, that to point the finger at everybody else. You know what I mean? It's everybody else's problem or responsibility. And just teaching people personal accountability is one component to the core in the Core-to-Credo.
I have to put a PSA for all the men who have ladies in their lives. You are not allowed to make that call. Do never say to a woman, are you getting your period soon? No. You don't get to make that call.
You know what you do get to say? Hey, how you feeling? You okay?
Exactly.
You okay?
Exactly.
Yeah. That goes a long way. Yeah, there's your PSA. Don't be
So I have been doing intuitively branding. So I'm changing my brand now. I'm an intuitive brander. That's my thing. You're an intuitive guidance. I'm intuitive brand. And I have been doing it for a really, really long time. And I've seen the magic that comes out when you put all the decision makers in a room to talk about the values and talk about the vision and the purpose and all the stuff that makes a company, what's underneath the iceberg. And when we came up with this idea of mixing our two superpowers together, like I can't imagine not doing this without the core part because it just makes sense. What I was doing was the brand, connecting the company to their vision and mission and doing all the stuff, doing the team building, doing like the putting it out there, making sure everybody was aligned with the values from the top down. But I never was going from the bottom up to truly find out like what the employees need and how to teach the leaders to connect with the staff. And it's just so like, there's just no way that it could be done without it anymore. Like an organization will not thrive until those relationships thrive with themselves and with each other.
And you said it perfectly, from the top to the bottom and the bottom to the top, they meet in the middle. It's anything, we again, my indictment on society, but we are a society of Band-Aids. Oh, throw a pill at it. Throw a pill. You know what I mean? No. From the core. Start from the core.
Root cause.
Get enough of your root causes. Root causes.
It's all root causes.
I pull my weeds in the front, and every once in a while when I'm getting lazy, I don't always catch them from the root. Well, that weed's going to be there tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Root cause. Pluck it out.
Root cause. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. It's a beautiful thing. And, our hope and goal is to just really try to teach people, whether you're like a solo person and you have some freelancers and stuff and you just want to know, like, tap into your purpose, whether you're a founder who's got like 30 people, you've been doing it for 8 or 9 years and you've lost a little spark, it's like reigniting with that spark, with the passion and the purposes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like what our core values are, and it truly, like, my number one core value has always been, don't be an asshole. That is my number one value. I will work with you. Just don't be an asshole in so many ways. Right.
Yeah.
And then, be authentic or go home. Truly. Like,
If you're not going to be honest,
not work with people.
I'm sorry. If you're not going to be honest, I can't help you. I can't help you. You know what I mean? If I'm going to the doctor to assist me with weight loss, but I won't get on the scale, you can't help me. And that's how it is with everything. You know what I mean? It sucks, to be honest. It sucks to be honest about the state of affairs in your business. It sucks to be honest about the state of affairs in your marriage. It sucks to be honest about the state of affairs in your own personal alignment. It sucks to be honest. But once you get past that suckiness of the honesty, oh my God, you can move mountains after that.
That's the willingness.
That's the willingness.
You have to have the willingness. You have to. And the reason why it sucks is because you're afraid. You're afraid of what you're going to find. But what do you have to fear? What do you always say, Dane? Nobody dies.
Nobody dies.
Nobody dies.
Nobody dies. Nobody dies. So what's next? Oh, then this happens. Okay, what's next? And then this could happen. Yeah. Did anybody die? No. So let's fucking do it. Let's do it.
Exactly.
Nobody dies.
Exactly. Yep. So be fearless. Be fearless. Be willing. All right. We have banged this one over its head. I think
so in other words, no, I'm just kidding.
That's what she said. So this is 37 2/3, where we were talking about like our kind of like Core-to-Credo, because that was really the culmination of the whole letter, Dana and I. And, just to go back to that point in time as co-founders, Dana truly is my ride or die. I don't want to do this without her. She brings a certain magic that I don't have. I bring a magic that she doesn't have. And, we just have fun. Every single day is fun. I love what we do every day. And we want to help people to achieve this by literally walking the walk. The reason why Tony Robbins is who he is, and Lewis Holmes, Howes, whatever his name is, sorry guys, all of you people that are out there, motivation speakers, because you walk the walk. Dana and I walk the walk every single day, and we love what we do, and we really want to help people thrive. We do have something called the Assessee. If you go to the website, uniquelyphenom.com, there is a button in the middle of the page that goes, "What the heck is an Assessee?" And it tells you about what it is. We created a free tool for you to kind of look from needs work to everything is hunky-dory, like 1 to 5, to rate different things within your organization. So, the employee happiness, what is the culture like? Where are you at with your brand? And just to kind of like give you a sense of where things are at. If everything is like from a 3 to a 5, I'm going to say you're pretty good. Things are hunky-dory and good. But if you have a couple 1s or 2s and you want to look at it, we do offer a free discovery call. There's no obligation, but seriously, we have a discovery call. We don't work with everybody. Like Dana said, you have to be authentic. You have to be willing. There's a bunch of stuff that you have to be, and because that's what we're going to be for you.
And you have to not be an asshole. Just to be clear.
Not be an asshole. So, but seriously, like we have a discovery session just to see if there's alignment, just to see if we could help, because we're not going to take on anything we feel like we can't do. Yeah. And so seriously, if you guys just want to have a chat, if you're curious, if you feel like something might be a little bit off, just have a call with us. Seriously, no obligation. No, we're not going to hunt you down. We're not going to add you to our marketing list. Like, we're not about that.
We're not the hard sell at all. When you have a product or anything, that is awesome. You just got to align with your people. You know what I mean? There's no forcing. There's no forcing. Just allow.
Just allow. Okay, so for our final third of the season finale next week, we're going to spend time talking about Dana's first book that she wrote called Veda Finds Her Crown. And I'm just going to leave it at that because we're going to dedicate the whole episode to talking about it. But it is really amazing for educators, for people who are homeschooling, for parents who want to connect with their children better, for for adults that want to connect with themselves and get to their root causes. This is a root cause
Root cause in the his.
It's for children. Root cause in the his. We're so appropriate. So I guess, Dane, you have anything you want to end with? Or
I got nothing. You crushed this. You totally, when you get to talk about what speaks to your heart and soul, you light up like a Christmas tree. It's awesome. So keep killing it, girl.
Yeah, you too, girl. All right. Have a great week, everybody. Peace and love, and we'll see you next week.
Peace and love.
Love and prayers. Love and prayers.
Everyone has a story. I have a story. You have a story. We all have a story. As I see it, you have 3 choices. Allow your story to define you, use it to excuse you, or utilize it as a method to empower you. It's your life. You have the power. You choose. Rewrite your story on finduniquelyyou.com.